Hello, my name is Paul. For a little while, I'm going to help you drift away by telling you a relaxing narrative about Latigo Beach in Malibu. Ease yourself into a comfortable position. If you have a pillow, release the weight of your head onto that fluffy support and take a deep breath. You may hear natural sounds around me because I'm out in nature right now, capturing this narrative just for you. Just around midnight on this Saturday night, I did something I haven't done in years and woke up and drove out on the PCH from my home in Santa Monica to a spot in Malibu to record this relaxation narration. It took about 40 minutes for me to reach Latigo Beach. It would take about an hour if you are coming from inside Los Angeles. The roads are fairly clear, especially for Southern California. But there are other people who are out and about. There were a couple of other places that I tried out along the way, like Malibu Bluffs Park. But all of them were not close enough to the water and far too close to the cars. I've never spent much time on Latigo Beach, so as I drove out here, I almost missed the turnoff. There is not a lot of signage indicating that this is a spot where you can walk out to the water. There are residences adjoining Latigo Beach, but it is a public access staircase from the road that branches off of the Pacific Coast Highway. And the staircase, although fairly tall, is not a difficult descent or climb. Once down here, looking to the south, I can make out the moon over the horizon. I can see the lights of other Malibu homes along the PCH, stretching as far south as I can see. In the very, very distance, I can just make out a glow from Santa Monica Pier. Although there is light pollution from nearby street lamps and those homes with their ocean-facing lights on, the sky is still clear enough that the stars abound. At the base of the staircase I took from the Latigo residential neighborhood down to the sand To the right were the backyards of Malibu homes. Can you call them backyards if they face the water? And to the left were craggy, rocky outcroppings. The water has risen high enough that it has pushed the sand to cover up the base of the wooden steps. But they are not so close as to endanger my feet of getting wet. Just next to where I propped up my microphone stand, there is a small catamaran tipped on its side to prevent it from washing out to the ocean. There are rocky outcroppings wherein, were it daylight, I might climb atop to see what it looks like out into the ocean. The sun set several hours ago, so I should not see any light on the horizon. But the ambient presence of other lives keeps a glow on the far, sharp line of the curve of the planet. The stars are bright enough that I can make out constellations. And certainly, if I were to pull out my sky viewing app on my phone, I might be able to identify more of them. But the Big Dipper and Orion's Belt are always fairly easy to pick out. And they keep me company on this Saturday midnight. The lapping of the water against the shore is one of the most comforting sounds I know. Though there is a power to the waves, they are not too tall tonight, and not too frequent as to be alarming. Blinking white and red lights off in the distance tell me that late night flights are coming in to Los Angeles International Airport. While there's always a danger that I might disturb a private residence, there is so little company here. It's quite delightful. The ambient glow of the streetlights in the distance provide me with enough light to see the white crests of the waves as the water laps upon the sand. The kelp on the beach, which is often an obstacle as I come out to swim during the day, acts as a handy marker for where the sand is stable enough to walk here in the calm of the darkest night. Turning to the northwest from this point, I can make out the backs of some very expensive residences here in Malibu. Not to any detail, but the lights from their rear windows illuminate the general shape and architecture. We are northwest of the Malibu Fishing Pier. So all of the distractions from that are far away. A relatively rapidly flying dim point of light reminds me that out here we can see the satellites circumnavigating the globe. We are no longer in a heat wave, but it is warmer than usual this weekend, which means that as we approach the 1 a.m. hour, it is very comfortable in the low 70s Fahrenheit. There is a gentle breeze wafting in from the ocean. There is salt and seaweed in the air. But as none of the water is stagnant, none of the odors are overpowering. It is reassuring and gentle. On nights in the past when I've had difficulty sleeping, I've driven along the Pacific Coast Highway up toward the northernmost reaches of Malibu, trying to find a quiet parking space where I can stay in my car in the night and have the ocean sounds massage me to sleep. I hope that you have found this as relaxing as I intended. Breathe deeply and feel on the exhale that your worries are leaving you behind. There is nothing for you to do at this moment but to rest. And with that, I will pack up my gear and return home to see what dreams await me.